Happy Sunday, happy Monday, whatever the hell it is for you, wherever you're at in the world. Welcome to probably the most stable of all my streams is the Sunday night live stream, where I have no topics. I have nothing in particular to talk about. I just feel like I should be here running my mouth at this time of night because Sunday is the most relaxed day of the week for me as far as the evening goes. It's the earliest I get on. Actually, no, the earliest I get on from here, the earliest non-store show. So, like I said, how you doing, Brett?
Um, okay, it's a pretty quiet Sunday. We're just finishing taking down some Christmas decorations and yeah.
Fuck the Dallas Cowboys. You know why? Aubrey, their kicker, fucked up my fantasy game, cost me the title. How do you go all season and being damn near dead eye, and then when I need you, you missed 2 field goals? Not only did I not get those 3 points, no 12 whatever points, I lost points because I get penalized for stupid shit like that. So it looks like I'm going to have to put the same whammy on the Dallas Cowboys that I put on all of Canada when my Kings got screwed in the 93 finals. Guess what? Canada hasn't won a Stanley Cup since. Dak Prescott, you couldn't give me that one completion that would have got us into the red zone to where I could have, you could have gotten that. Your interception cost me too. Like, you son of a bitch. And then and this is one thing I got to get with my commission. We can't be having the playoffs this late in the game because people have clinched playoff berths and buys, so they don't play people. I have the league MVP on my team, but guess what? Couldn't use him today because he sat out because he's got nothing to play for. I lost by 5 points, and I'm looking at my phone because I'm not watching the game. I'm like, why am I losing? How do I lose points with the kicker? How did that happen? Was he kicked the other way? Oh, my, you son of a bitch. Cap it off. I had, who did I have on? I had James Cook, who's been having a blowout season. They for some reason can't get it. But the Bills, and there's another one, they're already cursed. They keep turning the ball over in the red zone. I'm like, in my little thing that did it. I'm like, I'm in the red zone. ESPN Fantasy, you're in the red zone. No, you're not. Because guess what? Allen turned the ball over again. I'm like, you son of a bitch. And then there was one play where where Cook got open for a pass. The ball's right in the middle of his numbers. He's in the end zone. He drops it. That would have won me the game. I'm like, you son of a. But it was a free league. I didn't lose any money. So, listen, anybody, if you get a chance to play any fantasy football league, pay or not, some of these games of this year have been awful. They've been awful and they've been unwatchable. But the only way I could have ever watched some of these games is if I had action on them, and I'm too cheap to do that. Or if I'm playing fantasy. So it's been a fun season. I made it within 5 points of taking the title. But like I said, the most inane shit happened. Everything that could happen to me that could screw this up happened to me. I'm like, son of a bitch. But all right, but it was fun. But my Lakers beat the Clippers. So that happened like 5 minutes later, and I was like, oh, everything was okay. Because I can't stand counterfeit LA teams. Clippers, get out of our building.
Well, hell of a way to open the show.
Go to wherever you're going to go. You are the only non-championship tenant in the Staples Centers. Get out. All right, let's go to chat.
Okay, let's see what we got here tonight. A lot of people reporting on the Golden Globes. So Rational Skeptic says, William, they need a better host the Golden Globes Oscars. Why don't they get Cat Williams or Jay Leno to host?
Jay Leno was never funny and engaging to me. He's a horrible host. You don't want Cat Williams on TV. If you put Cat Williams on there, Cat Williams is going to be the news. They barely ever will never ask Ricky Gervais back, but I think Cat will be a disaster. But hey, you get ratings, and nobody's watching the Golden. I'm surprised you guys are watching the Golden. Totally skipped on that one.
Yeah. I'm just watching people react to watching the Golden Globes. How's it going, Rhea?
Is anybody in our genre running anything?
Oh, she said Rhea says Nolan and Oppenheimer sweeping the show. So
okay, so did Cillian Murphy win for Best Actor?
I couldn't tell you that. I need to look that up.
Okay, yeah, I totally forgot the Golden Globes was on there.
Nolan's the goat. I mean, yeah, I've seen.
For this movie.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't say that for his entire career. There's still titties up there.
No, I don't think this is going to happen, Rhea.
Actually, no. Pete Davidson could probably pull it off. He's controversial, but he follows the rules. He doesn't go off script. I mean, Lorne Michaels trained him well. And that's one of the strictest guys who gives you a lot of rope, but as long as he has to trust you. And if Lorne Michaels trusts you to go out there and ad lib like Pete Davidson was allowed to, I think Pete Davidson I actually like Pete Davidson. I actually think he should put more into his acting because I think he's got a latent talent. But I think Pete Davidson is fine. I like Pete Davidson.
Okay.
I wish he had now. I mean, but it's subjective. I mean, he's comedies. His type of comedy might not be for everybody.
Yeah, that's so much. I mean, I'm not like anti him or anything. I just not so much.
But if they told him, hey, don't go off script, I think he would actually follow the rules. Cat Williams, you can fucking forget that.
Yeah, but who's going to host this? The real question is who's going to be the host that's going to have somebody come up and slap him.
Hopefully nobody ever again. You know what? That night I felt awful for everybody involved because I've been rooting for Will Smith to win Academy Award for so long. He's been screwed out of a lot of them. He's a top tier Hollywood talent, and I would have loved for that night just to be because he was a heavy favorite coming in to win it. I would have loved for that night to be just about that because he's earned it. He earned that award. He is that level of actor, and it's a damn shame that's what that night's going to be remembered about. And here's the thing about it: if you're an A-list star and you can't take a joke, stay the fuck home. As much as I love Will Smith, you're either a human or you're a wild animal. And this ain't the first time people have cracked jokes at an A-list star in the crowd. I mean, Kimmel destroys people when he goes. I mean, and people laugh. Okay, funny. Yeah, go home, count your money. I mean, the way and plus now we know there was other stuff going on, but still, if you're going to be out there in public, if you're going to sit in the front row, if you're going to be at that level, act like you're at that level. And Will Smith never indicated to me that he would ever do anything like that. I mean, he's always been, and he's still a class act, but that one moment is what everybody's going to remember. You got to know how to act when you're in public or stay home. That's always been my thing about it. And comedians tell jokes. And guess what? The jokes aren't always going to be funny.
Yeah, that's true. And but yeah, that whole Oscars. I mean, and of course, that was the Oscars where the Snyder fandom, took home some glory. But I mean, even that got overshadowed by that moment. So it was, that whole Oscars.
And then you had the trolls want to destroy that moment. So
yeah, that's true. But let's see. Rhea says, not sure if you'll know much about Romeo Miller as a performer, but he's not a good screen presence to host a show.
I don't know who he is.
Well, actually, Rhea also is totally going to die on this hill with The Rock.
Actually, The Rock. Well, no, he's never going to be. We're joking about that, guys. But The Rock is a good host. I think The Rock wouldn't even need a script. He would just go out and look at everybody in the crowd, and you are not getting up to slap The Rock. There's a difference between 6'3", 200-pound Will Smith going up and smacking around 5'6", 180-pound. Chris Rock. If that had been Mike Tyson up there telling a joke, Will Smith would have sat his ass in his seat and laughed and faked it. But he saw a smaller guy. He went up there, like I said. If that had been anybody, Chuck Norris, 83-year-old Chuck Norris, anybody who could have actually beat his ass. Could you imagine Iron Mike saying that? Iron Mike could have said the same exact joke. And I promise you, Will Smith is not getting out of that chair. Because if you look at Iron Mike Tyson is 54, 55 years old. He's cut. He looks as dangerous as ever. I would not take a hit from Mike Tyson at 54. I wouldn't take a hit from Mike Tyson ever. But I wouldn't be like, oh, he's old now. Go Google Mike Tyson. Look at the shape Mike Tyson is. Mike Tyson is one of those fools I told you about. When you have money, you don't age. And when you're aggressive and you're a combat sports guy and you have money, you're no less dangerous than the day you left. Okay, and he looks great. So if Iron Mike when I made a bald-headed joke about it, as distasteful as it might have been, Will Smith would have laughed. Everybody would have laughed. And I could see Mike saying, what you going to do? That's part of the joke, and everybody would have been like, "Oh, no." Well, because what would have happened if Will Smith would have got up on stage and Mike was up there? That would have been a disaster.
Yeah,
That would have been a disaster. He would have thrown a punch. Mike would have dodged it and hit him with one of his punches, and we would have literally watched the guy get his neck broken on. Yeah. Will Smith, I love you, man, and I hope as the years go on, people will, they'll never forget it, but it's not the. I hope he wins another Oscar, and we talk. Hey, you know what? Let's come back to and undo Independence Day. Let's retcon. Find some way to make Resurgence not exist, and you come back as Colonel Tiller. Man.
Yeah, because that was some bullshit going from a movie one, Independence Day 1 to 2, where it's like where he's died. He was experimenting with the alien aircraft, and he dies. Like what the hell are you doing? It's like that's
okay. You know what happened? I rewrite it. Here's what. No, he didn't die. He didn't die. He got caught in the time vortex, and he went back in time before Resurgence ever happens. So guess what? When we do Independence Day 2, and we call it Independence Day 2, we don't call that bullshit. We call it Independence Day 2, and he's back in time. He goes back in time, and he's got to keep going. He keeps getting into these crashes until he figures out, that it's a signal from something, anything to erase Independence Day. That movie was offensively awful, and I waited 20 years for that movie to come out. I saw the original in 1996, and I saw that movie, and I was so angry. I was like, you had 20 years to get this right. And then I'm thinking, what if Blade Runner butchers this? Because I didn't know as much about Denny Bellamy as I do now, and I would have never thought that. But I'm like, these Blade Runners had 30 years, 35 years. What's going to happen if this movie is going to be awful? And I'm like, no, that's the difference. See, people are sequels will ruin it. No, bad sequels will ruin shit. Good sequels augment shit. So,
well, and the thing about it is also, I mean, that was also part of the marketing. Everything you said there about they had 20 years to get this right. What made that sting that much more was the fact they had that in the marketing. The whole thing about we had 20 years to prepare, so did they. And it's like, so you put it up front that you had this kind of time to lead up to it, and this is the best. Yeah, and you could tell too, as that was leading up to it, in the lead up to when Resurgence came out. I mean, just the contrast from 1 to 2. I mean, as I've said many times, like Independence Day, that was summer '96. I mean, the
Mission Impossible and that. Dude, the '90s put out some serious movies.
And then you get to Resurgence, and it's just crickets, leading up to so it's like I knew going in, it's like, oh yeah, this is totally gonna bomb.
But I saw the trailer, and I'm like, oh my god, this maybe because then I'm like, well, maybe it's just a bad trailer. No, it's a trailer.
We could do a whole.
Yeah, we should do a whole. Yeah, I know. There's just so many bring up that we could probably just, we should bookmark them and say, we need to do a stream on that.
Larry Romero, the rapper. Are you saying he should host? Rhea? Host the Golden Globes? Okay.
I mean, the Golden Globes is desperate. They've had so much scandal and shit. So Cat Williams' interview was so good. I also forgot the Golden Globes. Yeah, so did I. They didn't really advertise because of the scandal.
They just snuck up on.
Yeah.
I'm just listening to people kind of. Or I'm just watching people kind of screenshots.
Cat Williams' interview. That's like not just a stream. That's like a whole. Oh wow, Cat Williams, what? not very happy these days. All right. Oh, by the way, hello, Music Man.
Let's see. Anthony Manzano says Robert Downey Jr. won for. Oh, he did. Okay, that's good.
And he needs to win the Oscar. I've seen a lot of movies, and I saw all these movies. I have yet to see a performance so far. And I didn't see Barbie, but I'm gonna bet that nothing in Barbie. That is gonna. He has to get it this year. This is actually, like I said, there's 2 performances in Chaplin. He got screwed out of Chaplin. But the one year that I thought that he may have had a chance to win it going in was then I saw The Dark Knight, and I'm like, Heath Ledger's winning this now. I was watching The Dark Knight.
Yeah,
and I
remember
winning this Academy Award. And that was the year that Tropic Thunder came out, and he's excellent in Tropic Thunder in a role that if you did it today, he'd get canceled.
Yeah.
And this black man would. I'm sorry, I'm defending Robert Downey Jr.'s performance because it was part of the story. It was part of the thing, man.
And that kind of flares up every now and then these days, where you see controversy around Tropic Thunder, and again, it tends to be with like little bit more with younger generations, but against not understanding that's like he's in blackface and that it's not meant to be like we're doing like modern blackface. It's meant to be it's like we're lampooning like this extreme method acting that would go under the knife and go under surgery to get the blackface.
With the black guy as a teammate there, just completely destroying him the whole movie. It was part of and I, as a guy who's not the biggest go pay to see comedy stuff, I got the joke. I mean, like it's not like Soul Man where you just didn't give a fuck, or Al Jolson or something like that back when. Now, there's a difference when it was you had people doing blackface in the 30s and 40s and stuff like that, and you were taking roles from black people. That role was always going to be for Robert Downey Jr. That was the character. So it wasn't like we were casting a black guy, and no, that was the character. That I'm the fool playing the fool disguises.
Yeah.
In the trailer for that, and like I said, that is the last comedy I paid to see, and it still makes me laugh to this day. But Robert Downey, this year's got to do it, man.
Yeah, like you said, it's like it had it not been it literally was Heath Ledger as the Joker. That was was the only reason he didn't take the Oscar that year. So I would think he probably has that in the bag this year.
That's an all-time performance. Heath Ledger's performance as a Joker, like I said, when I watch The Dark Knight, I don't watch the whole movie. I actually have a cut-up version of it that's just Heath Ledger because I don't care about the rest of the movie. Don't care. I think it's too crowded. I think Two-Face. I don't need. I need one of the Two-Face, and I have the Joker. I didn't think the movie had enough space for the Joker, not the Joker, but a Two-Face's character. Even though I like that actor and I like the character, I just thought it was jammed in there. I give those minutes to Heath Ledger, man, because I could have watched Heath Ledger for another hour. All right, next one.
Music Man says Pete Davidson. He's not funny. Yeah,
hilarious, man. Come on. Again, comedy affects each person differently.
Every guy should be worried if his woman finds Pete Davidson. Oh, come on, fourth. Yeah, we got our fourth zinger for the evening.
Scrawny little dude. He used to have tattoos. He's getting a lot of them removed now. This little scrawny little dude can get any woman he wants, dude. At any age, it doesn't matter. Here comes Pete Davidson taking your woman.
Larry asked William, who do you want to play Batman DCU? Someone established or an up and comer? Well, I think. Yeah, again, I think we're a little bit far out from fan casting.
We're far away, further away from that than we are from Legacy, and that's like 19 months.
And Clint says blame Brad for Cowboys crushing the Commander. Okay,
dude,
is it my fault that football games don't go people's ways?
And like I said, we that just aggravated me to the point. But it was, like I said, it was fun. You got to have something to make some of these dreadful games. And like I said, just watching Cook in the end zone. If he catches that, he falls in the end zone. I win. I had all kinds of shit ready to go around bragging with my little crown. I was gonna have a lot of fun with it. I was gonna spray paint a football silver and put it on a piece of wood and run around. I was get silly stuff. But yeah, I'm like, dude. You know what, though? While I was watching my season be dismantled, I was thinking, what about all these people who bet? All I lost is a bragging right. Somewhere in a sports book, there's somebody probably because I lost bragging rights. They probably lost a house. Because there are some goofy things going on. I'm like, I could never be a prognosticator. I could never bet on this stuff in real life, real money. I just no way. I would lose my ass. I'd be one of those guys that they have on the football commercials. Got a gambling problem? NFL, yeah, that would be me because those 2 field goals and then they cause the game to go under or somebody intercept. I mean, all kinds of stuff. I mean, the Bills tonight with their turnovers, they're gone in the first round. Buffalo Bills fans, if you're watching, I don't know, you might be in Buffalo. Your team's gone in the first round. I don't care how good they looked against the Dolphins, and they should have lost that game. Cowboys, you should beat the Packers, but I don't know, man. If I don't put the curse on your team, maybe you got a shot.
Well, again, he said it's my fault, and I'll take the responsibility for it.
There's a whole bunch.
Fourth. Oh, come on, fourth.
Oh, come on, man.
Music Man says that was a horrible night for everyone, and Will acted like a dumbass for a bald-headed serpent.
Yeah, she's not as popular. Man, remember when Jada?
Oh, she's getting with some of the stuff she said recently about it. It's
that Red Table or whatever it is she hosts. She needs to like never have that show, man. And then I find out that they've been separated since 2015. I'm like, what's going on here? And then I'm like, I don't want to know. The less I know about the Smiths, the better.
Yeah, but that's I'm just I get people I get the emotional aspect of it, but it's like I mean it just goes to show you. I mean it's a lesson learned for both Will and everyone involved. I mean how just one moment of just letting your temper get the best of you can just really just
your moment,
moment,
which should have been the greatest moment.
How's it going, Aaron? When Brad, everyone in the chat. Larry says Will was horrible that night. Yeah, it's weird because it's like I remember like seeing it. Well, first of all, like probably the first 10 minutes after it happened, I was sure it was staged. And then when it became
when he started all that cussing, I knew it wasn't. When he started cussing, and I was watching it live, when he started the cussing, I'm like, okay, this isn't live. This isn't fake. Yeah, when he got in, so keep your mouth. Now I'm like. And that's not Will Smith, by the way. Will Smith doesn't even. It's been a running joke. Like Eminem even made fun of him.
Yeah, where he says like, "I don't have to." Will doesn't have to cuss to sell records.
But I do. So fuck him and fuck you too. Yeah, and that's been. He just hasn't been that kind of guy. And you're like, know what people are going through. But like I said, you're sitting in the front row. You're Will Smith. You're up for an award. You're the heavy favorite to win that night. Just take the joke, man. And if you got a problem with it during a commercial break. You want to do something? You want to get up, grab your wife by the, not grab her, but say, hey, honey, if you're offended, let's leave. And you start walking out. I guarantee you, somebody in the office is going to run up to you and say, where are you going? Where are you going? You're up for a war. I was offended by that joke. I need you to make him apologize, make him come back and do something, or I'm leaving. That would have been better for him to leave and then not be there to accept the award. And I would rather that than him getting up there because that's just bad. That was bad.
Well, it's weird too because I remember like seeing a lot of the initial reactions to it. It was very it seemed pretty split down the middle, whether you were kind of team Will or team Chris on it.
I was team learn how to fucking act in public.
Yeah,
there's no. Well, first of all, Chris Rock is a comedian. That's what comedians do. You are a celebrity. Part of your job is public appearance and how you respond to things in public appearance. If you can't take a joke, stay indoors. Stay in the mansion. So there is no team Will on that one. There should be no team Will. And in order for me to be team Will, you're team uncivilized and smack somebody in public, and and he could have been arrested tonight. Chris Rock decided not to put charges. There is no team Will on that. I love Will Smith. I think he's a great performer. And I was rooting for him to win that night, and I still am rooting for him in life in general. But for that instance, there is no team Will. Learn how to act or stay the fuck home. That's it.
As time has passed, I think the sentiment, like what I was saying, it's like because I had seen people who were a lot more on Will's side, but like as time has passed, it's like I think the sentiment is pretty much shifted. It's like that wasn't cool, dude. It's like
Yeah, and then you know what? The person who really could have made this worse is Chris Rock. Chris Rock, and he's considerably smaller than him.
Yeah,
but he could have responded physically. He could have gone. He actually went on and gave out the award he was supposed to get. He did it in stride. He could have when LAPD was there. He could have said, "Do you want to celebrate?" He could have said, "Yeah." Chris Rock could have made that so much worse. But if you don't like the joke, too fucking bad.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, he really kind of picked up that fumble and ran with it. Where he said, "Oh wow, Will just slapped the shit out of me."
He was selling out shows with it. He did what he was.
He worked that into his act too. I've seen his Netflix stand up where he made that part of it.
Some of it was pretty offensive, but what I would have done if I was Chris Rock, I would have been like, "Okay, Will, you went upside my head on live TV. Saturday Night Live's coming up here in 4 days. You and me need to do the cold opening so I can sell out every damn show in LA." I mean, if I'm Chris Rock, I'd have been like, you know what? I'd have shown up with what's his face, Don King, and I'd have had a neck brace on, and I'd have bruises and stuff on, and I would have had all kinds of lawyers and stuff in there, and I would have had Will Smith on there with him. I would have been like, we're suing you for $50 million. And then I would have had the replay. So everything you saw in the Oscars when it was happening, but I would have added stuff to it where Chris Rock is falling backstage and breaking his neck, and this is how it happened. I would have monetized it, But I will, it was a tough situation. But all right, yeah, next one, yeah, Chris Rock didn't feel like a man because he could have made that so much.
Is it Romeo Miller a train? Music Man says Michael Jai White was up there willing to. Well, it's interesting. It's interesting you say that because Mike was actually, if you're familiar with like the DJ Vlad guy, and Mike's a pretty frequent guest on there, and he was actually asked directly on the channel. It's like, if that had been you, and he kind of shut it down and said, don't, but he was he offered some commentary on it too, where he was pretty disappointed in Will Smith himself, and for the reasons you're laying out, where he's like, Will's like 6'1" and probably got a good 30 pounds, 40 pounds at least on Chris, and it's however in poor taste you might have thought the joke was, it still was like, it's not the way to handle it. Yeah, especially when you're about to get your Oscar.
Yeah, you talk to him afterwards backstage, say, "Hey, man, I'm really offended by that." And you know what I think what Chris Rock would have done? I think Chris Rock would have apologized. I don't think he was out there to destroy anything. He was out there telling jokes. Dude, there have been comedians who have done far worse than, like I said, Ricky Gervais is probably never going to host an award show again. But once again, the context of at that time, at that moment, no one knew what he was going through in his rant. It doesn't excuse him. No, still you act like a civilized human being, but it wasn't just some out of the nowhere type of shit, But hey,
well, again, if you, I think we might have played the video on here too, but like a week or two ago. But like if you watch when Will walks up there, I think even he wasn't fully sure what he was going to do, and that's why like when he finally gets to Chris, and there's like a quick little pause, and then he. I think he might have been thinking like closing his fist and going for it, but he would have
been arrested, and it would not have been up to Chris Rock to say no on that one.
Yeah,
he would have been just straight up.
And it's Chuck Norris. Yeah, Chuck Norris. I mean, he would. I don't think he would have made the joke, but and Aaron says, I would like to see Chris Rock and Ricky Gervais co-host the Oscars.
Not if you want it televised, you don't.
That's true. Yeah. Anthony says, did Mike Tyson knock someone out on a plane recently, William?
Yeah, and I'm like, I keep asking people, why do you guys think it's okay to fuck with this guy? This guy is still. Let me pull up a picture. Let me show you why we just leave this man alone. Hold on, I'm going to show you why. Go ahead and pull some up one. I'm gonna.
Okay, yeah, I'll get one right.
Yeah.
And he's actually probably getting pretty close to 60 now, isn't he?
All right, Mike Tyson's 57 years old. Okay, Mike Tyson. Slide. Okay, guys.
Yeah, here he is.
Oh, you got one first? Okay.
Yeah, let me.
So there's one that's down there that's pretty new. Let me show you the one I found here, because I found one there where he's like, all right, here we go. All right, so I'm gonna pull this one up. Present Tyson. So, okay, you see this right here? You see that?
Yeah.
Why are you guys messing with that man? What will possess you to think, hey, Mike's in his 50s now. He ain't cool. He's soft. I can take him now. What about that picture at Mike Tyson? Present day Mike Tyson says, I want to fuck with this guy. That guy looks like he was smiling, knocking your block off. Look at his six-pack. That is not fair. That's mid-50s, Mike, and you're going to on an airplane? You must have been drunk. It's like that with that little dog chasing the lion meme.
In fact, actually, I might have I might be able to pull this up. Let me see if I can find it. Within the last few years, there's a training video I've seen him doing where he's just hitting pads in the gym.
Yeah, because he does exhibition fights. I'm like, why? Why are you? What? Leave that man alone. You know.
Okay, here it is. Now this is from a few years ago.
Oh, he's still 53. That's still.
Yeah, here we go. Look at him go.
Look at that.
Dude's retired.
The guy struggling, and he's got pads on to take his punches. Look how quick he is. Look at that. All right, because that's Bob Cup ready. Leave Mike Tyson alone, people. Just don't mess with that man. If you see him in a bar and you think you're young, you think you're fit, you're doing good at the gym, you think I can take Mike Tyson, just go ahead and Google present day Mike Tyson.
And then finally going your way. Sorry, guys. Rationally going to get Matt Stone and Trip. Yeah, well, yeah, but they, yeah, but I mean, it's like they probably could, but also it's like you want them to go take the gloves off like they do in South Park, and so you're just not going to get away with it on.
Like I said, plus you wouldn't be able to air it on TV.
Exactly. So it's like if you're not going to be able to get 100% of what they can do from them, it's like why even bother?
And sponsors will drop out too with certain people.
Larry's asking about a tip link.
Dude, good, thank you. I'm too relaxed on a Sunday.
Music Man says Independence Day. So it sounds like you haven't seen it. So we're pretty much telling you, yeah, you're not missing anything, dude.
Oh, please don't listen. If I can do anything for you, whoever that is, don't see that movie, especially if you love the first one. Just remember the first one as being a really good, the greatest movie of all time.
I mean, a little personal, context where it's like I have the first one on every Independence Day. I haven't watched the Resurgence since it came out in 2016.
Oops, hold on. Yeah, I mean, because it came out on July 4th. I remember it actually came out on Independence Day, which is kind of cool. I love that movie. It's cheesy as hell. It has its tropes, but it's perfectly.
It's sci-fi is like, again, it's light on the science, heavy on the fiction, as we point out. I think on the prior stream where things like if you nuke that ship, that alien mothership that close to Earth, it's like, well, that's a Pyrrhic victory.
You're dying an Ewok death because that mothership was a quarter of the size of the moon. That's and it's in your orbit because guess what? The moon is in your orbit. So all that shit, all that radioactive, whatever they use as a power source, all that's coming your way.
Well, if it doesn't hit us, it's hitting the moon.
Plus, you got a problem there. So, but hey, it was fun. It was fun. That second one wasn't fun. All right, fun. What's going on?
Larry says he would have slapped. Oh, come on, man. No, we don't need to talk about violence on your night.
Most people would have, though. Like I said, Chris Rock with the right guy.
It's not Will Smith that couldn't take a joke. It was Jada.
Yeah, but Will Smith, you are in control of your own actions. You got to grab feet as tight as you can, homie, and stay there.
Well,
now,
Well, a lot of people point out, looked at that video and said, initially it looks like he's kind of chuckling. And then he looks over at her and she's, she's not really thrilled about it. And then.
But see, if Iron Mike would have been up there, he'd have looked back at her and said, "Sorry, babe, we're gonna have to stay here." Hey, I'll tell Mike. Hey, my wife was offended, and actually, I'll put you in front. Yeah, Jada was offended. I'm sorry. That would not have gone well.
Mighty Rack says he should make Hancock too. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Actually, Hancock was a better movie than I ever thought I liked it because I thought the premise. Charlize Theron was in there too.
Yeah.
I just love in her in just about anything. I can watch her. You know what? She makes the Wile E. Coyote and the Furious movies a little bit more when she's in them. Yeah, Hancock was good. Hancock, I think, was underrated.
Yeah. I think again, it's another one. I kind of similar to what I said about Mystery Men, where it's Hancock had better timing because it came out the same year as Dark Knight and Iron Man, but it's still if it came out now, it'd be even deeper than superhero craze.
That was underrated. Mystery Men was not a good movie. Why do you got that movie was dreadful. That movie was dreadful. It actually did pretty well, by the way.
No, it bombed. Mystery Man bombed.
How much did it cost to make it though?
Let me look that up. But it bombed in 90. I mean, it's done better over the years because of the
1999. Okay, I thought it was. Let's see. They spent. Oh, okay. Never mind. I don't. Dude, this movie didn't even make 33 million because it's an awful movie. Sorry, it's just awful. I saw this in the movies, by the way.
I did too. I thought it was hilarious.
I was in San Diego, and I'm like,
I saw my dad when I was 12. He loved it.
What am I doing here? This movie was awful, and it had people in it that I liked. I liked Hank Azaria. I liked William H. Macy's, one of my all-time favorites. Ben Stiller. Doreen Garofalo, I thought she was a great comedian. Pee Wee Herman is in this movie. Greg Kinnear, who was a talk show host at the time. Eddie Izzard is in this movie. Lena Olin, who's you want to go see a great movie. Romeo is Bleeding. She's awesome in it. Jeffrey Rush is in this movie. I mean, there are people in this movie.
Like, the Good Burger guy.
How did you have to look at this movie in retrospect and be like, how did I end up in this movie? Because this movie was awful.
No, if you haven't seen it, come on, guys. Here's a little peek of that. Come on, guys. This part here when he tries to pull that off.
Come on, Roy, let's get out of here. Serious, let's get.
Okay, take it off.
Okay.
If we're gonna get kicked off the internet, I don't mind getting kicked off the internet, but it's got to be for a good movie. If we get kicked off the internet for fucking Mystery Men, I'm gonna be mad. I'm like, what? A copyright strike? All right, I'll take it. Which was it? Mystery Men? Oh fuck no! Take that. Hate that movie.
And how did that not like spark like an interest in the Flaming Carrot comics? Come on.
See, I can't see your face, so I can't tell if you're being serious right now. I hated that movie.
Okay, we'll move on from Mystery Man. Ignore our previous comment on Romeo Miller being a little Bow Wow. He's a little Romeo.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna miss that comment you're talking about. But okay. We would have been. Oh God, nah. That would have been gruesome.
And spit it out into the Oscar crowd. I remember that night too.
Yeah, that was I'm happy Robert won. Hope he wins the Oscar. Yeah, me too. By the way, here's a little bit of trivia with the Incredible Hulk. The reason why Louis Leterrier, he said the Abomination. He's got his ears now in his kind of his more recent MCU appearances. This big, freaky ears he has. But he didn't have them in the Incredible Hulk, and Louis Leterrier said the reason why they took it off is because in the Hulk and Abomination fight, he thought the Hulk would look stupid if he didn't try to like rip off the ears or bite the ears, and he referenced the Tyson fight because of that. He said, "Oh, it's like if you have like like an appendage that's like that's that protruded, and you got these two savage creatures going for it, they'd be trying to rip things off each other." And then he said, "Yeah, liken that to the Tyson fight of him biting an ear off." So, yeah.
By the way, the funniest thing about the I'm not finding this movie, Larry. Larry wants us to show the kill list, but I can't find it. Let me make sure I'm looking at it. Oh, thank you for the $10 donation, Larry. Well, please add kill list. Is it okay? Am I looking it up wrong? Is it just kill list? Hold on.
I think you're going to agree with Music Man here, though. The Dark Knight is not that good. It's overhyped. The Batman is better.
2000. Okay. Are we talking about the 2011 film? Okay, I see it. Ben Wheatley. Is it the Ben Wheatley one, Larry? All right, join Chief Former Minister and Hitman. That was in South by Southwest. Budget was $800,000. Made for it. Is that? Larry? Let me know if that's the one we're talking about.
Oh, and by the way, Anthony actually he sent me a question he wanted me to read off. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Brad, would games like Crash Bandicoot and Banjo Kazooie work better in live action or animated TV show movie? And would those make any money at the box office? I really couldn't tell you, man. It's like I'm not really.
It's hard to say because the ones that have made big money have been really, really big names before they started making movies. Like Sonic was huge before.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat's the big one as far as like video game IPs being successful.
But Mario would probably be the bigger one. Did Mortal Kombat make any money?
The new one.
Mhm.
It did so theatrically, but apparently it was really big on HBO Max.
That's where I watched it. I watched it on HBO Max, even though we promoted it.
Well,
And
because it was the day and date release they had.
I was no chance in hell I was ever going to go see that movie. And
Well,
and I watched it. I'm like, it had some cool things to it. Nothing I could have sat through in the theater though. But that's not my movie though. There's a whole everybody who I sent loved it.
Well,
Everybody I sent loved it. I'm like
I said, it's like I fall into. I've always described it as like I liked it, but I wanted to love it. And the parts I loved were the beginning and the end with Scorpion and Sub-Zero. And
that was the best part of the movie.
Oh
that was the movie. To me, that was the movie. It's like
and Todd Garner. Apparently, they have heard some of the feedback on that because he's, the producer Todd Garner. He's tweeted out multiple times as they've gone into MK2, saying, "Yeah, we're getting rolling, we're getting started on this," and he's added a lot of times like some version of, "Oh, by the way, guys, we listened." So
yeah, and it did well enough on streaming to get its sequel. So I can't deny it. I'm a streaming guy. I am a guy who says integrate the streaming numbers into your decision making process. That's what they did for Dune, because like I said, Dune, just what it made in the box office wasn't going to get you. That movie's Dune 2 is expensive as fuck to make.
Yeah,
that movie. I forget what's the budget on Dune 2. Dune 2. I don't know. Did they even publish Dune Part 2 budget? It's got to be big. That trailer for Dune 2 was more expensive than some movies.
Yeah, it doesn't say, but let me look at the first one. Yeah, the first one, the budget was 165. So
I can't believe they got away with that kind of money.
So you have to figure it's like, Dune Part 2 is probably north of 200. 100.
I can't believe that movie, and I know the advertising budget was up there because I still got some cool stuff from it. But that movie, 165 for the size of that movie, the sound editing in that movie is great. I mean, you're sitting and watching Dune and that surround sound, and now that you got this D-Box shit that you can do, I actually want to see Dune 2 in a D-Box. And that's where they shake you up and, pour water and do all kinds of crazy shit with you. I actually want to see it because people were telling me about that when they went to go see Top Gun. I'm like, okay, I didn't want to become a pilot for a reason. I don't want to be thrown up because they're doing all this and they're shaking and stuff. I'm like, oh no, I just want to watch the movie. Tom Cruise is crazy ass, can do all the stunts. You want me to pay extra to be a stuntman? No, not happening. All right, next one. This is just open topic, you guys.
Yeah. Let's see where we got the Music Man says, "Yeah, Will should have left or had a talk." Yeah, that would have. Well, again, you settled that matter, and you don't ruin your Oscar win that night. So there you go.
And for Black folks like me who grew up not idolizing him, but respecting him and respecting that guys like him, we're destroying and are piercing the stupid ass stereotypes that follow us all the way through our childhood and all the way through our young adulthood. That kind of pissed me off to see two black men up there fighting, because that's the dumb stereotype that a lot of people have. And then you have one of the most civilized, cool, calm, and collective person up there that you would have never expected it from doing it. It just pissed me off, man.
Yeah, and again, that's why for 10 minutes afterward, I thought it was staged because Chris, he wasn't even like rubbing his face or anything. He shook it off and he smacked the shit out of me. So
went on, did what he was up there to do.
Yeah, he just picked up the ball and kept running with it.
So Questlove, by the way, Questlove, another black man up there winning an Oscar for his documentary. Questlove is off stage wondering what the hell. Questlove is from Jimmy Fallon show.
Yeah, actually, I remember like another thing Michael J. White had said in that he talked about the one snapshot, which is like, I don't know how these photographers like get these like big historic moments, like they're just like always in the right place at the right time to just snap from the right angle. But the snapshot, the still image of Will hitting Chris. He talked about seeing that image like float around online. He said, yeah, like that image like just really just hit me hard because again.
It made my blood boil for a little bit.
Yeah, but
he's paid the price because he lost. He had some movie stuff delayed. And it's like I said, you should have been remembered for your Oscar or your performance, not for that. And I feel bad for him because that stuck with him. So
yeah, I mean, maybe that's maybe you think about like releasing the Ayer cut now, like that. Ironically enough, that would be like part of like Will's redemption tour.
I think he'll be all right. I think as time goes on, I mean, there's been people that have come back from shit, so he'll be fine.
Yeah. Let's see. But Larry, of course, you opened up talking about football, and Larry points out, blame every. Yes, of course. We all know it's all my fault.
Nah, I gotta blame it on Aubrey. Aubrey, fuck, dude, you've been solid for me all year. You missed 2 in one game, and the one that got blocked, I'm like, dude, where's the line? Where's the special teams guy to get that? Ugh. Millionaires. This isn't me out there. This is the upper 1 percentile of athletics out there, and just some people shouldn't have got paid today. I think that they're getting close to it. I think when you wrestle the style that they've wrestled to, I don't think that kind of style goes up to, 50. I think they can still be assets to wrestling, but I think they're basically. I saw the best of them. So.
How's it going, Ruth? Morning, Ethan, Brad, William, everybody in the chat. How's it going?
Driving blessing. Your profile picture.
Yeah. Everybody, go if you hadn't seen our Watchmen stream yesterday. Ruth was there for us, and
in the dark.
And I was of course building up our Rorschach's big moment in prison because I knew that was something she was just gonna absolutely love. Let's see. We actually got a couple interesting ones here. Kind of relating to the whole thing with Will. I hated that when Will dropped the N-word in Bad Boys 2, even though he's pretending to be prison tough to scare Martin's Dara's boyfriend. That
wasn't. That's just because it wasn't him. It wasn't him, and that was his thing. That's why a lot of his success was not being that guy. Like Martin Lawrence on the other side, the guy he's acting with on that is and Chris Rock, they're known for that. Will Smith was known for not being that way, and that's what made him so successful in Hollywood, because he had a universal appeal. Not everybody has universal appeal when it comes to, even Eddie Murphy didn't have that kind of appeal earlier. Chris Rock handled it like I said. There's a whole bunch of other people. We could do a stream on them on who would have fucking killed. Would have just absolutely destroyed him. And like I said, and Chris Rock could have just charged after him and just had people break it up. Everything he did stopped it from being worse than it could have been. It was already bad. Everything he did stopped it from getting any worse, which is, I commend him on that one.
Yeah, I think I definitely agree with you on that. William, I have a question. What position some of these old school rappers like Millie Mill from the Furious Five say comments like that about Eminem is jealousy or a little bit of racism?
No, you asked that one last night. No, we answered it.
We were kind of getting to that last night.
Yeah, we answered that, and it was because remember when I was telling you how a lot of people looked at a white rapper, and just saw that, but they didn't, they just completely dismissed that he came up with Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg, 2 of the most powerful rappers at that time, 2 of the most influential rappers to this day. One of them was a billionaire, and one of the better hip hop producers out there, and Dr. Dre. Snoop Dogg knows his way around the game. He came up through those guys, and it turns out he was good. Eminem is an Academy Award winning rapper. There's not too many of those. I think you count him on 2 fingers, maybe 1, and he's it. Yeah. So he was talented to begin with, but at the same time, he came up and was produced, and those guys took him under his wing. So you really can't say a lot about Eminem as far as like his legitimacy in the rap game. I mean, but yeah.
Well, Aaron is definitely not pleased with what Will did, because she says Will is a snowflake, and Chris Rock is professional like Will Smith.
And like I said, the 1 minute in his life that he wasn't a professional was going to be the
one. Again, that's a lesson learned both for Will and for anybody watching, where it's like, just how just one momentary like lapse in judgment or letting your anger get the best of you, how much damage that can do, to what's literally what would have been like the biggest like career achievement, of his life. Imagine like him being able to go up there and give that Oscar acceptance speech, without having to kind of like package it and an apology or a yes,
last apology too.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm looking at the list of television performance by Bill actor, Jeremy Allen White for The Bear. Best performance by a female actor in a series, musical comedy. I have not seen The Bear, so The Bear won for that one too. Best performance by a male actor in a television series drama, Kieran Culkin in Succession. I have seen that. Pedro Pascal was nominated for The Last of Us. Jeremy Strong, Brian Cox. Succession had like half of these things. Best performance by a female actor was Sarah Snook in Succession. Best performance by a male actor in a limited series anthology. Stephen Yeun in Beef. Never even heard of that. There's so much stuff I don't watch. Ali Wong. Beef won another one. There's so much. This is why I don't watch the Golden Globe, because it's usually shit I don't watch that's winning awards.
And well, speaking of the shit you don't watch or like, Aaron is backing me up here on something.
What? That's just a troll job. She's trolling. She's been in our chat long enough to know how to troll now. So I'm not. I know you don't mean that, Aaron.
Yeah, Aaron. It's like I appreciate the support, Aaron. Okay, let me go back up a little bit.
All right, film. This is an upset. I haven't seen Poor Things yet, but it won for best film. It beat out Barbie, American Fiction, The Holdovers, May, December, and Air. Oppenheimer's not on this list. Oh, musical or comedy. Okay.
Yeah, because they have that kind of distinction.
Oppenheimer won for best motion picture drama. Best motion picture non-English language. I don't care. Best screenplay motion picture. Anatomy of a Fall. Best original song was "What Was I Made For" by Billie Eilish. Okay. Here's the problem I have with this, and I hope I don't see this in the Oscar. I haven't seen Across the Spider-Verse up here yet, and it should at least been has 2 best songs on there. Am I Dreaming should be on there, and Self Love should be on there. And I'm hearing, I'm looking up stuff on here that I don't see. So
let me look that up on because it's got to be a shoe-in for like best animated at the Oscars.
Yeah, but the Golden Globes doesn't have that. Okay, Robert Downey won for Oppenheimer. Best female actor in supporting role. I haven't seen The Holdovers. Emily Blunt should win it for I think from what I've seen, but who knows? These are all worthy people. Best male actor. Paul Giamatti in The Holdovers. That's the one where they stayed over for a Christmas holiday. And Paul Giamatti's time. Jeffrey Wright, American Fiction. Best motion picture animated. Okay. I'm not ever going to see this, so I can't really judge. The Boy and the Heron beat Elemental, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I don't think that the Academy will vote for that. I think the Academy will vote for best male actor in motion picture drama. Cillian Murphy won for Oppenheimer. Somebody told me he didn't. He did.
Okay.
Best female was Lily Gladstone. I know she's really good in that. So, best female actor in a motion picture musical comedy, Emma Stone for Poor Things. I'm surprised she had that. I got to go see Poor Things, so it looks pretty decent. Best director was Christopher Nolan. That should be the Academy right there. I would have said different if Dune 2 would come out and I would have been able to see that. I would maybe have it different, but for what came on, best original score. Ludwig Göransson, he did put out the best score for Oppenheimer. Cinematic and box office achievement, well, that's bullshit. It's not a quality. It's not a quality determination. That's just money. They got paid for that, and it's Barbie. So, Golden Globes is pretty worthless.
Yeah, and by the way, they haven't for the Oscars, they haven't put up their full nominations, so I don't see anything for Spider-Verse. But yeah, that's got to be
Spider-Verse, because you have 10 categories. Spider-Verse may get nominated in live action as well because you have 10 movies.
Yeah, well, that's also it's got a little bit of live action in it. So.
Yeah, it's the only category that in the Oscars that has 10, which I think is.
Yeah. Let me see who else we got in the chat. Dork White has a good one here. Look at us talking about some of the DCs. Oh, I'm sure that'll change very shortly.
Listen, we go where I try to limit it, but for the most part, we go where the stories are, and sometimes we, go where the audience. I mean, if we have an open topic, sometimes, like the other night, or Nicotino, if you have Nicotino on, we're going into these things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the way I remember I posted this a while back, the whole on everything with Snyderverse and wanting to see it completed, restored, whatever. And I put up the GIF from Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, where where I liken it to when he says like I'm like a bad penny, I always turn up. So it'll be back. Don't worry.
Yeah, I would prefer to lay off it right now because I don't think there's anything more to say.
There's not nothing substantial. There's nothing like hard on it right now, but
nothing. It's not going anywhere. And to be honest with you, I'm that way about the DCU. I have nothing in the DCU. People keep telling me, how come you're not excited? What am I supposed to be excited about? There's nothing to be excited. We're 19 months away from me seeing this thing. What is there for anything for me to be excited about? Excitement is you have to have a little bit more information and something to go on for me to be excited. Say, hey, William, 2025 is going. I'm not fucking excited about the year 2025 coming. I don't know what's going to happen in it. I mean, what do you want me to do? I can't wait for 2025. I mean, the year. I mean, it's going to come. It's going to be 12 months, maybe. I don't know enough. I don't know or care who David Cornsweet is. I never heard of him up until he got nominated or announced. So, okay, how am I supposed to be excited for that? How am I supposed to be excited for what's her face? She's in a show I don't and will never watch. I don't know who she is. Rachel Broad. I know her name, but I don't watch her shit. So how am I supposed to be excited about that? Nathan Fillion's guy. I mean, these are things that just are not. They're like as a matter of fact of so. So I have limited the DCU talk because there's nothing to talk about now. I don't give a fuck what the costume looks like 19 months from now. Don't care. Now you want me to care when you start hyping it? Then I'll jump in. If DC starts hyping it, I'll jump in part of the hype. But right now we're just releasing names of actors for the most part. No one knows who they are. No script, no nothing. Don't have anything yet. So, like I said, Snyder stuff is on the ban list, and Netflix stuff is on the ban list, and DCU's on the ban list. Next one.
Yeah, but
Golden Globes is headed that way too, by the way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think he's going to miss it, judging by this comment. They're glorified paperweights, and they don't mean anything. Hollywood Horror Press is a joke.
They really are, yeah, and they're scandal ridden too. So.
And by the way, we have a little special guest in the chat, friend of the, who everybody has seen him previously on the show. Well before I came aboard, has dropping in to say hi. So everybody say hello to Mr. Thade.
Hey, what's going on, Thade? How are you doing, band? Yeah, I do, and I don't want. I'll start putting in like you can ban certain words in the chat, but I don't think we're there yet.
Okay, let's see what we got in there.
Just imagine if I banned James Gunn's name. I would have. Hilarious.
Yeah. Let's see. Hal Jordan says Ben Stiller's not the funniest guy, but I'm sure he's funnier than Pete Davidson.
I don't think so. I think Ben Stiller's a better actor than Pete Davidson, but I don't find him particularly funny.
Okay. So maybe I should ask about this then, because you were talking about comedies, and it does relate to like Bill Stiller's career, and not liking Mystery Men. I'm sure you are absolutely just so enamored with the Meet the Parents franchise, with the Adventures of Mr. Gaylord Fokker.
I just it's not my movie. Just not my.
Now, seriously, what are your thoughts on the whole joke around his? Because so much of it, even by the end of it, I started getting a little bit like, okay, like they've kind of run this joke into the ground where like his, just making one-liners out of his name.
It got old. Like I said, I can't remember how much I saw it, but I'm just not into those movies. It's the best way to keep me away from the theater. That's just make that kind of movie. Rom-coms is something about Sally or whatever, that one where he got his balls caught in the thing. That one was stupid.
That was there something about Mary.
Yeah, something about Mary. Those movies, American Pie, I thought they were all stupid. I mean, but that's coming from somebody who I have no use for that genre for the most part. Like I said, in the last 25 years, I paid to see one comedy, and that's Tropic Thunder. And the next comedy I pay to see will probably be the sequel to that. That's it. I don't pay to see comedy. That's not my thing. I don't even watch sitcoms anymore. Now, once I got my own TV as a young adult in the house, I didn't watch sitcoms anymore. I only watched them because we only had the one TV. And I was like, okay, it's either watch this or watch nothing. Once I got my own TV, I stopped watching sitcoms. I don't want any of that stuff.
Well, I may, in light of all that, I may put this on later tonight.
One question for you. It's, can you deal with that?
Like I said, it's just I laugh at the silliness of it, but I like I said, I'm a limited focus guy. People are like, you should broaden your. No, why? Why?
No, I feel you on there.
I don't
mean,
want
that's
to. I'm like,
whatever's
you
your
guys enjoy
appetite.
it.
You know. I it's like I'm not as I don't think I've written off like comedy to that extent, but I'm a lot more selective on it. Maybe is the way to put it. Like, in fact, actually, now that I think about it, when was the last time I anything like just purely comedic I paid to see theatrically? And the thing about that is too is like so much of that, like the MCU kind of in a way is also sort of usurped that because of how comedic it's become, arguably to its detriment.
Yeah, like I said, it was so easier for me to dismiss and not go to the movies to see Marvel movies. That was the easiest thing to give up, unless it's something I really, really wanted to see. Before I would have just gone and seen it because it was part of the Infinity War saga. But sooner than I realized, and the light bulb in my head turned on, I'm like, I've wasted a lot of time and money on a good portion of these movies that really didn't do anything for me. So I just stopped doing it. So now it's like I target, especially with streaming. With streaming, I can be selective. I can Blue Beetle these things because I'm like, if I don't feel passionate about going to see it, I'm wasting my time. And it's a lot easier for me to know in the back of my head. It's not like I'm never going to see it because guess what? In 2 or 3 months, it's going to be right on my little screen up here, and then we'll go from there. Like Blue Beetle, like Aquaman. I did not go see Aquaman. And a lot of these movies that are coming out, I might even see Deadpool on streaming, but that's just not my genre of movie. It's a comic book movie, but not my type of comic book movie. And since I'm the consumer, and when it comes to DCU stuff, like I said, the only way I go see the first round of that stuff is if Warner Brothers partners up with us and we do it. I mean, it's going to be hard not to then. But I'm not like I'm not chomping at the bit to be like. I'm not like a Pomeranian waiting for the can opener to open for my dog food so I can go running into the room. I'm like, oh, it's there? Okay, I'll get around to it. So, yeah, the movie's got to be really, really compelling to get me out of the chair these days. I'm just not going to go. I did the go see everything thing, and I'm like, wow, that was a waste.
Well, Fort says MK screwed up. You're talking about Cole Young. Yeah, he was kind of people were kind of 50-50 on Cole, but hopefully, he kind of finds his footing in the sequel because, Louis Stan, he definitely knows stuff as a martial artist. Fourth is he going to go? There is no way Fourth is serious here.
You have the right word, dinosaur. But those are the people who think that we're going to be doing the theater is going to be going. There's just no way. I can see how people's feelings and passion might be thinking that it might be that way, but that feeling and passion runs up against a wall called math. And it's a wall you're not getting over. It's not a wall you're not getting around. Once they get it down to the point where they can cut out as much of the middlemen as they can, they're going to use that as the fulcrum of the industry. And yet stuff that you hit to the movie is going to be blockbuster level shit that they know that they can make, all their money back from. But it's just the money is too great right now. Everybody's chasing Netflix models, but they will eventually get there. And like I said, you're dealing with finances that people just can't afford to go to as many in theater movies as they were before. Prices have gone up, inflation has gone up, movie prices have gone up. It's just you guys are guys who want the theaters that think streaming is going away. I don't know what actual tangible dynamics you guys are thinking, unless you're just outright like now. If you're just lying to people like that, Zaslav, then you don't care about the reality of it, because the reality of streaming is going to come whether you lie to a bunch of CinemaCon visitors or not. It's just going to happen when you're going to see these windows. It's like 30 years. Eventually, you're going to have a 30-day window for brand new movies, unless it's like a Barbie or not, something like that. But for the majority of the movies, you're going to get them out there and you're going to get them on the streaming as soon as you can, because that content sitting on streaming especially if you've negotiated a deal, a royalty deal on it, a better one that they had before, to where they don't have to cut it. It's just, that's where the money's at. It's like I said, you guys are the people who are trying to stick. You're saying black and white TV is great. What do we need color for? It's just not. Candle's fine for me. What do you need a light switch for? That's what you guys sound like when you guys say streaming is going the way of the dinosaur. It's not. It's just not. We're not going back to horse and carriage. Right? We're not going back to steam engines. On submarines. It's just come on, or diesel. All right, next one.
All right, let's see what else we got. Droga says they didn't include Quan Chi in the first one. Yeah, I agree. Well, he's supposed to be in MK2 coming up, Droga. So I think
wasn't going to help that movie.
Yeah. I know, I'm kind of of two minds about it because I do, because anybody deep into MK lore knows Quan Chi is one of the big outworld villains. So yeah, maybe it might have been for the best they saved him for MK2. So we'll see. I'm looking forward to seeing some set photos of him. Let's see who else we got. Dork Knight also points out. Let's not forget 3-6 Mafia won an Academy Award.
Oh, dude, you want to see some people that were happy to win an award and were happy to be there. But look at when they won their award. Those people came out like they won the NBA championship, which was cool to see. I mean, somebody was. They were happy with that award. It wasn't just some thing. Some people get up there and they're like, I can't believe I won this. I'm not worth it. They were jumping and hopping out there. I remember when they won their award, man. 3-6 Mafia.
Yeah.
Hard out here for a pimp. That's where they won it from. Somebody actually had to announce that song. The winner is Hard Out Here for a Pimp.
And see what Anthony says. Wayne, what are your thoughts on the financial reporters on places like CNBC and Fox predicting the demise of AMC theaters? They're going to have no choice to declare bankruptcy.
Wouldn't surprise me because remember AMC was already on bankruptcy before they had that run on the stock, the meme stock. If it had been for that, they would have probably been on bankruptcy before. So it wouldn't surprise me at all. Like I said, with the problem with AMC is there's a lot more to it. Before the pandemic, they had invested $500 million in upgrading almost all their theaters and their A-list, everything they upgraded, and then the pandemic hit. So they had no opportunity to gain money back. So and the pandemic's extended effects really hurt them. And now, when we came out of the pandemic, somewhat obviously it's still around, still killing people, but not to the point where it's keeping people out of places. Now you're dealing with you never fully came out of that because streaming was there, and there's a lot of people, whether you want to believe it or not, that are bypassing certain movies because they know they can see them in 45 days because they want to go see another movie. You can't afford to go to all the movies, so yeah.
There's got to be some kind of evolution to the theatrical business model, like because I think I've said before in the stream, like one thing post COVID I've really been noticing in my theaters. It just even for like really big anticipated blockbusters. It just does not get as packed as it used to. The only thing from the start of the pandemic to now, the only thing I would say was like comparable to in terms of attendance to what we had seen like previously in like a lot of normal years. It really was Spider-Man No Way Home. Like that brought people out in droves, but I have not seen anything to that level. Since the pandemic.
Barbie, that.
Even Barbie got that. Barbie got good turnout, but it didn't get anything. Nothing. Just the way my theater was jumping for No Way Home, it's just like nothing I have seen.
Barbie and No Way Home were multi-generational movies because you had 2.5 generations of Spider-Man fans there from 20 years worth of Spider-Man fans almost, and then you had Barbie that's been around for 60 years. Most of these other IPs are just not going to have that. And if you look at the movies, they're either part of connected IPs or they're massive iconic IPs that were already well known to begin with.
Now I think Anthony was going to finish up his comment here. Is forward all their dead.
Another thing about AMC that's a problem is the rent where they're at is prime real estate. They probably pay so much in rent. It's astronomical.
Fourth also points out. I think you're talking about Will Smith here. Fourth, he was in that goofy area of "Hi, my name is," which sucked.
Oh, he's talking about Eminem.
Yeah. Oh,
It didn't suck for Eminem.
yeah, he laughed all the way to the bank with it.
Yeah, he won a Grammy for that, so I think he's doing all right. Next one.
Let's see. Bradley says, "Thank God Pedro or Nothing from The Last of Us 1, Succession, everything nominated with it deserved way more." Fourth S, Mystery Men versus League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Yeah, which one do you think William likes more?
I just turned the TV off. I was looking more for a League of Extraordinary Gentlemen than I got. I was completely with that cast and with that talent. I was sorely disappointed in that movie. That's one of the only Alan Moore movies, the adaptations, to where I was like, this was an absolute waste of my time. And then Mystery Men was I've already explained why, there's 1,000 things I would rather do with my time than watch that.
Yeah. See what else. Aaron's got a wrestling one here. Did you know there are wrestling nightclubs now? It's in Canada. They are nightclubs that play theme music of wrestlers.
Ooh, wow. That's got to be expensive. Wasn't aware of that at all. Got to head to Canada.
Let's see. Bradley has another one here. Let me get back up. He said, so I think he didn't like Spider-Man or Spider-Verse, Brad?
I will go ahead and time him out.
Anthony, another one, him. Brad William, if they remake League of Story, do you want that type of story? He's been multi.
No, I don't want League of. I don't just leave League of Story. I don't think. And the one of the problems I have with it, League of Story, it does not translate well. I think that was one of the problems with it. It just didn't. The story does not translate outside of comics. Not every story does, by the way. I know that's hard to believe with so many that have, but League of Extraordinary Gentlemen was a niche concept to begin with. I'm surprised Alan Moore even did it, but nah, I would say leave that one alone.
Bradley says, I trust the Golden Globes to pick things that actually deserve to win more than. Okay.
What? Are you serious, dude? They had a bribery scandal that they're coming out from under. How can you trust them? Come on, man. And by the way, the Academy you are right about the Academy Award being a bunch of washed up old people that watch it that no one else cared about or sees and then gives them an award.
Well, that's what
the Globe goes. They're not any better.
Well, and that's what made it so hilarious when they tried to institute the Oscar for popular film category, and then they did the Oscars fan votes categories. Ironically, the night that the Will Smith Chris Rock incident. So they had that, and then of course which fandom hashtag their way to a win in that one.
Yeah, and I think that this year will probably be a good year for the Academy Awards because you've had the whole Barbenheimer thing, and they're going to be up there as far as awards goes. You have Barbie up there. You have Greta Gerwig. You're gonna have a lot of young demographics in there that will watch it. I always say I'm not watching it this year, but I grew up watching the Oscars, and then like I said, I just thought that I'm like, this is way back when I used to see every movie that was nominated when it was just 5 movies or whatever. I used to go see every movie. The year Slumdog Millionaire won, I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And I'm like, all right. I think the last year, when Traffic, when Steven Soderbergh won for Traffic, that year that Gladiator won for Best Actor and Best Movie, and they just found a way to skip Ridley Scott for Best Director, and Traffic. Yeah. Able to. I just started losing faith in the Oscars, and I'm like, it's okay if you guys want to have your own little private awards, but I'm not watching because you and I we're not on the same page. Some of their decisions are just completely whack, and I'm like, are you kidding me? The 1 year, and then they fall in love with certain people. And listen, I think Hilary Swank is a top tier Academy Award worthy actress, but that year she won for $1 Million Baby, and Morgan Freeman won for $1 Million Baby. I've seen them both in way better performances than that, and they didn't win that award that year for Best Actress. Should have gone to Kate Winslet for Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Jim Carrey, his best performance, period. He didn't get nominated that year, and I'm like, fuck you guys, man. I mean, even if he didn't win, you're gonna tell me that movie
he made
of why that movie was as good. That movie's excellent.
Well, he's made kind of a running joke out of like his never getting nominated or winning an Oscar. Like he did that 1 year at the Golden Globes, and I want to thank the Academy. Oh no, wait, I was thinking of the wrong people.
Yeah, and to be quite fair, even his non-comedic roles have never been up at the level. Man in the Moon was not as good, but it's not at that level. It I can't say that Eternal Sunshine is an underrated movie because it did win for best screenplay. It won an Academy Award, but that's Kate Winslet's best performance. Period. Fuck Titanic, and she won for The Reader, which is not a bad movie at all. But I don't have any proof of this, but I think the Academy Awards, when they do that, they end up giving makeup awards. And I said this before about listen, all respect to Whoopi Goldberg, but you won for that film. I thought that was a joke. I thought that was a Saturday Night Live skit, and they did that because she didn't win for Color Purple. Kate Winslet won for The Reader because she didn't win for Eternal Sunshine. I mean, and you see it. There's a pattern.
Well, there's also the whole thing of like Return of the King winning for not because Twin Towers didn't.
Yeah, and then the other argument was that we knew this was a trilogy and we figured we would give the crowning achievement. It would express the whole thing because it had And I'm like, Return of the King. I saw those movies and I saw those movies in the movie theaters. Like I said, this is cinema, and this is like I'm like, okay, I've seen cinema. I've seen The Godfather. I've seen I've seen cinema. I've seen Lawrence of Arabia. I've seen Dune. I've seen Blade Runner. The amount of boredom that I endured going to see this, and those movies, and I already hated Tolkien to begin with. So
we're not big high fantasy guys on here. If you guys hadn't figured it out yet, like I was saying to him also, a minute ago, the Oscar, they have tried because again they're recognizing like specific, they're old geezers recognizing specific, kinds of of movies, specific kinds of performances.
That's watching the show
exactly, and they're trying. They try these things like okay, we're going to do like popular. We're going to try to implement like popular film category, try to give Black Panther some love, which that blew up in their faces, and then they did the even blew up in their faces even more when they did the Oscar fan votes one, and it's like I loved that that Army of the Dead and ZSJL. I loved that that they took that the fandom we hashtagged into that, but I told people, I told colleagues at the time even after that win, it's like listen, I have no illusions. I'm glad I love the outcome of both of those, but I have no illusions about why the Academy implemented the Oscars, like what was it, like Oscar fan favorite and Oscars cheer moment, and it was both because of this.
I'm hip.
Okay. But no, here's my answer to that. Just nominate poop movies that people care about. Stop trying to be so outside of the box with your movie that 18 people saw.
Well, yeah, I remember like when what was this 2000? Yeah, this is the last pre-COVID or pre-pandemic Oscars. It was like right before that. When Parasite won, it's like I hadn't, and this, it's
yeah, that one pissed me off.
Yeah, well, that was how I became aware of Parasite, was that it won the Oscar. So
I saw Parasite because I liked that director actually did The Host. And I like that Boon Coon. I've seen his stuff. So Parasite, he's done a lot of stuff that I like. This movie wasn't bad. I just let me because I remember bringing this up because it beat out. Let's see, because it won for best movie and it won for him best picture. And
I'm just looking at the Oscars page for the 2000. Yeah, that was February 9th, 2020. So they beat the pandemic by a month.
All right, so here's what Parasite beat. And I'm going to tell you, every one of these was a better movie than it, in my opinion. Ford versus Ferrari was a better movie than Parasite, in my opinion. The Irishman was boring, but it long. But it was, Jojo Rabbit was a better movie than Parasite.
Yeah, let me
Joker was a better movie than Parasite. Yeah. Little Women, I would rather take out my own tongue and dine on it before. Marriage Story, I didn't care. 1917 was a better movie than Parasite.
Yeah, I love that. That probably would have been my pick out of all these.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was a better movie. And I saw all the movies that you, except for the two that I excluded because I'm never going to go see that shit.
Yeah, Once Upon a Time it's minus the Bruce Lee scene.
They got the best actor right that year. It was Joaquin Phoenix. Best supporting actor was Brad Pitt, which I was shocked at. I mean, but I thought it was okay. Best original screenplay. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was better. 1917 was better. Sam Mendes should have won that one. Marriage Story I didn't see. Knives Out was better. Rian Johnson was better. Best international feature film, so it was double dipping.
Yeah.
Best adapted screenplay, they got that right. That was Jojo Rabbit. Could have won for best movie. Best supporting actor was Laura Dern in A Marriage Story, which I don't see that. Best actor was Renee Zellweger. She played Judy. Best director and best director that year. Everybody out here was better than Boon Joon-ho, and I like him. Quentin Tarantino was better. Sam Mendes was better. Todd Phillips was better. Martin Scorsese, everybody. And like I said, I'm not knocking Parasite. I thought it was a really good movie. It's long as fuck. But no. No, and I'm not saying that the box office giant has to win, but But you can't piss and moan about nobody's watching our show when you put movies like Parasite that nobody fucking saw. Most people in America didn't even know it existed until Oscar night.
Yeah, like I said,
Slumdog Millionaire. That sounds like a janitorial service. Nobody knew about that, and that wins all those Oscars. So I'm not telling you to change your decision making. Fine, pick who you want to pick, but don't be surprised and shocked when non-geriatric people don't watch your show. Just live with it. Don't televise it then, because it's going to get worse. This year it's going to get better because there's no way around nominating some of the movies that were hits, because they were there's no way you're not going to nominate Barbie. There's no way you're not nominate Ivan, and you're probably gonna end up nominating Across the Spider-Verse. I don't think it'll win, but it's one of the best. You can't tell me that Across the Spider-Verse with the 10 movie category isn't one of the best 10 movies of the year. There's no way. No way. You want to throw -1 up there too? You got 10 spots.
Oh, I think -1 is definitely going to be up there.
So yeah, I mean, this year is a year that they got it going for them. They have everything going for them because there's a lot of popular movies that people actually saw. Not Johnny Lives in a Box, or My Solo whatever, or My Life in Grape Country, or some bullshit that they just pull out of their ass the day of the ceremony. This year we actually have movies that people saw, so their ratings might be up a little bit.
Yeah, but Johnny Lives in a Box.
That's random shit that they pull out of their ass. All right, next one.
Yeah, yeah, sorry, just you're having me I'm back to that night, and but yeah, like I said, they beat the pandemic by a month. That's actually pretty impressive in hindsight. But yeah, Parasite, like everything else they nominated for Best Picture that year, I had either seen or I was aware of. So Parasite, that was one that I became aware of that movie's existence via it being Oscar.
Along with the rest of them, and all these people like Parasite was a great movie. You don't have any culture. I have plenty of culture. I just looked at all the rest of those movies, which I saw that year. I saw all those movies, except for but the main ones that had the biggest odds of winning. And Parasite wasn't better than any of those. And that's not saying Parasite was bad, but you said best movie. But their opinion on best movie. And like I said, some of the movies that even get nominated, I'm like, some years they don't even nominate the best movie. It's like, come on, Then they're worried about, why is everybody watching this? Well, I mean, you made your decision. I don't want to corrupt your train of thought. You want to pick these mamby-pamby movies that nobody has heard of. Marilyn Cotillard, who I think is a tremendous actress. She played in The Dark Knight, in her shitty death, and she played in one of Michael Mann's movies. She played Public Enemy. She's an Academy Award winner for some shit that I'm like, what? And I'm like, come on, man. So, but like I said, that's fine. I'm not saying that I can't say that they're wrong. It's an opinion. but you broadcast this and you want people to watch this so that you get ad revenue for this. So you gotta come to some conclusion.
Yeah,
If I look at movies and it's like, what? I'm not watching.
by the way, this is actually, because this is something I've thought about, and maybe this will become more relevant later this year when when the second one comes out. But Joker, of course, that was that got nominated. It got nominated for a lot of things, but it was also up for Best Picture. What did you think that it had? And it had the whole moral panic leading into it, obviously. But what did you think it had, like, particularly good odds of taking that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, because it was one of the heavier favorites that year.
Yeah.
The best actor was locked up as soon as he did the performance. That was the reason, and the moral thing wasn't what was a big deal about the Joker. Remember, the biggest notoriety about the Joker was the safety protocols. I remember when we promoted the Joker. We had dogs sniffing around us. We had to have our IDs out. We had to match our faces with ID. We had to have picture IDs. We had to match the list that we were on when we promoted that movie. And the biggest thing about it was because what happened in Colorado with the Joker. They were afraid of another inspired attack. That was a big thing about Joker. And to be honest with you, in a morbid type of way, that actually helped the Joker, because a lot of people would not have seen the Joker just based on the Joker, because it wasn't a recognizable Joker. It wasn't Heath Ledger's Joker. It wasn't a recognizable Joker that we had known. A lot of the hype around what happened in Colorado and the violence and everything else, and then the movie's violence itself, it helped elevate the movie. I'm glad that, I'm not glad it did actually, but a lot of people wouldn't have caught on to that if it hadn't been for that, the curiosity aspect got in that movie, and the rest of it was carried on the quality of the movie itself. But sometimes you have to have that initial push.
Hammy, what I walk into?
We're talking about the stuff that the Oscars choose.
Yeah, like Johnny lives in a box.
Yeah, I mean, just some, just the abstract stuff that they like to look down on us, like, you guys aren't cultured. Well, fuck you. All right, I'm not cultured. I'm not watching your shit. So now you got to put in a category to get me back, when all you had to do is put some people on these voting committees that actually live on planet Earth. That's all.
Let's see what else we got in there. Aaron asks, why isn't there an alternative movies award show?
Yeah, well, you have the MTV Movie Awards, which is man, MTV, there was a stretch in time in the mid 90s to early 2000s where the MTV Music Awards was the place to be, because it represented everybody in movies. It represented a big swath of multi-generational people that were, if you wanted an MTV Music Award, it was a big deal because of the exposure your movie got, and it was big for a while. So that's the only other thing I could, and like I said, you have to determine what would be alternative. Some of the stuff that they promote and put on the Oscars is too alternative. It's alternative to what I'm watching, So
let me see one. Next one here. Maestro probably went over something that deserves it more because it's made more towards those old skeletons in the closet, which the Golden Globes did this year.
Yeah, Maestro, that sounds like some shit that I like. Whiplash. I love what's the dude's name? It's J.K. Simmons. I didn't know. I'd never what Whiplash. I mean, I'd heard of it, but that's where he won his Academy Award for. So a lot of people didn't see that movie.
And he follows up with Oscars always fumble the bag.
Yeah, there's some years where they got it right. So 1995, Braveheart winning all those. Braveheart was the best movie of the year. When it came to Best Actor, Tom Hanks won for Forrest Gump, and then he won for Philadelphia, which was that was a heavy performance. There's been plenty of them, like obviously Joaquin Phoenix for the Joker's a no-brainer. There's been some times where they've gotten the best movie right, and then there's been times when they've really fucked it up. I mean, let's look at best movie categories if you want to
Yeah, I'll go and pull the.
Let's see. So let's go to the 93rd one, which was in 2020, January 1st, 2020. All right, so this is that year where Nomadland won. What in the fuck? The Father. I mean, okay, so Anthony Hopkins won for The Father. I'm certain no one saw that movie. Best Supporting Actor. I did see Judas and the Black Messiah. Daniel Kaluuya, M'Baka. He was good. Best Supporting Actress. Yoon Yu Jung from Minari. Don't know what that is. Frances McDormand won for Nomadland. Let's see. Who won for Best Director?
I'm sorry, my mind is still fixated on the whole Johnny Lives in a Box one win.
But you see the kind of movies that are winning here. All right, so let's go to the next year. All right.
Oh,
Coda won. I saw Coda. Coda was on Netflix. That wasn't. Yeah.
Last year they finally came out of that. Box when Everything Ever All at Once won, because that was very mainstream. It was still A24, but it was very mainstream because it was this mishmash of martial arts and sci-fi and comedy and multiverse and all that. So
Jane Campion won for Power of the Dog. That's the year Will Smith won for King Richard. Jessica Chastain for Eyes of Tammy Faye. Actually, she was pretty good at that. Coda won again. This was another one of these movies. It was like, Best Supporting Actor, Ariana DeBose for West Side Story. Bomb. Belfast, Kenneth Branagh. I mean, like I said, the Hollywood insiders love this shit. But like I said, if all of them are winning, or if all of them are watching, then you have like 50 people watching. So it's to the point where, like I said, I'm not going to go ahead and dispute your choices, but when you reach to the point where you have to start adding categories to get the people who will never see the movies that you nominated, then you have to ask yourself, so there's one year, okay, Rami Malek was the best actor that year for Freddie Mercury. Olivia Colman, The Favorite, never saw that, never going to. Best director for Roma, and okay, Spike Lee should have won that one. The best picture was Green Book. Green Book was really good, and it beat out like Black Panther, but Green Book was good. Best supporting actor number 2 for Mahershala Ali. Regina King. It beat Amy Adams as Vice as Lynn Chaney. Rachel Weisz, Emma Stone, all of those have already won. Best adapted screenplay actually went to Spike Lee for Black Klansman. And like I said, you just have a bunch of most of these movies. People are like, "What?" But like I said, and that's not me. Let's go to the 90th Academy Awards and let's see who was nominated. Gary Oldman won for Darkest Hour. He shouldn't have. He was the best in that. Best thing about that movie, but there's a whole bunch of shit that Gary Oldman should have won for, and that's it. Timothy Chalamet, Call Me by Your Name. I saw that movie because we were somewhat promoting that movie, but it was Human Interest, and I actually went to another movie in the middle of that movie. Daniel Day-Lewis for The Phantom Thread. Daniel Kaluuya, Get Out. I'm not a big fan of Get Out. Denzel Washington and Romeo J. It's good. Gary Oldman, that was one of those awards where they kind of screwed him out of like 6 or 7 of them, and he got it for that one. Best movie that year was Shape of Water. I loved Shape of Water. And this is going to surprise a lot of people. As much as I loved Shape of Water, I thought Dunkirk was the best movie that year. And that's a Nolan movie.
Yeah,
that's one of my 2 movies of his that I can hold on with. Greta Gerwig was nominated for Lady Bird, another human interest show that just nobody fucking saw. Sally Hawkins. Now Frances McDormand won for 3 Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri. She was great in it. I'm not going to knock that. Sally Hawkins in Shape of Water was better. I thought Margot Robbie in I, Tonya was better. I did not see and will never see Lady Bird, so I don't know how Saoirse Ronan did. and Meryl Streep was better in the post. So it just goes along, and there's no right answer to this, but like I said, then don't televise the awards if you're going to be mad about nobody's watching our stuff. Right? You're putting stuff on that nobody saw, man. Like I said, Johnny and the Bots. It might be the greatest thing ever, but nobody saw it. So, next question.
I'm sorry. Okay. I get that. I mean, that just sounds. It sounds like almost like an SNL like parody of like a typical like Oscar bait movie.
One of the movies that they would nominate, and it sounds like one of the movies that they would win. Criteria. It's a weird name. Nobody saw it. So hey, let's nominate it. Let's win for best foreign.
What year did Pulp Fiction lose it? That would have been like 95.
That lost to Braveheart. That had no chance.
William loves Shape of Water. Music Man also asked William, how come you don't like Get Out?
Because it's another Jordan Peele movie that just doesn't stick the ending for me. It unravels towards the end. And that's one thing about him. I think if he ever gets a movie that he can complete the ending to, in my opinion, he's going to be an all-time great. He's already an Academy Award winner now because he won for Get Out. He didn't win for Best Director, but he won for Screenplay.
Yeah.
But it does not stick the ending, and it's frustrating as hell because there's been, three of his movies now that didn't stick the ending for me, and it hurt the movie.
Well,
Us,
okay.
Get Out, and Nope. Nope has a lot of problems in it that stops it from being a really, really great movie for me. It just leaves a lot on the table. The thing that makes Nope carries Nope is the individual performances. Or I know movie are all great, but that when that fucking monkey goes in there and goes to town, you don't know how fucking excited I was about that movie. I'm like, oh, this is starting out well. This monkey beats the fuck out of everybody. And
3Ds
camera, and they have to shoot the monkey, and I'm like, okay, this monkey that just destroyed everybody is going to be relevant coming toward. I got monkeys that are going to be jumping out of spaceships and killing people. I'm like, damn it, this isn't what I paid. This is more than what I paid for. And then as the movie went on, I'm like, that's what it meant? That was lame. And then the whole nature of the threat was just kind of goofy. And it got, like I said, it held me for 90% of the movie. I dismissed a lot of the stuff that was left on the table because it was still that last maybe 20 minutes of the last act of that movie, and that's what it is with Jordan Peele. The last act of his movie undoes all the other stuff for me, and that's just a personal opinion.
Well, let's were you just getting a Get Out? Because I was just about to ask, like, what was your issue with the Get Out? The ending.
The premise of the story, that once I found out what was going on, I'm like,
the whole thing with like the brain transplant and
like, what are we doing here, dude? This had so much potential to go this way, and you took it that way, and now it's going that way fast, and I'm like, okay.
Where do you think it was headed? Before the whole, which for anybody who hasn't seen,
didn't know necessarily. I thought that there was a lot of innuendo there. That, with the whole relationship with the woman, I'm like, wow, this is some risky shit here. And then it's like, sort of like that, but it's not. And it's like, you're gonna fall into a deep hole of consciousness. I'm like, what?
You fall into the dark and the sunken place. Yeah,
I have to get out of here. Of course you do. Where I have to get out of here. When he was in that sunken place, I was in the sunken place. Like, I don't like this movie anymore. As much as, and I really liked it. Like Us is another one. Man, I didn't need the whole. I would have got away with it too if it wasn't for those damn kids' explanation about the doppelgangers. I didn't need any explanation about the doppelgangers. That movie could have ended right there, and the whole switching and all that could have been just cut right there, and it would have been a great movie. You could actually make, if you did a director's cut of that movie, it would be to cut that part of the movie out. I think that movie would be instantly better if you cut out the ending and just left it at 3/4. But yeah, but like I said, he gets you right there. He gets you right there to the point where I would pay to see another Jordan Peele movie. I just haven't seen one yet that is like I walk out and be like, okay, from start to finish, that was great. Especially the finish. You can have a really shitty beginning, but you got to land the plane, And I'm
Yeah,
thinking,
yeah, that is. I'm the same way where it's like if I have to choose like a strong beginning, weak ending, or vice versa. Yeah, I'm taking like the weaker beginning and the strong ending because it's like the last impression. That's what really kind of wraps it all together for me. Yeah, like I said, he threw out like, yeah, Johnny lives in a box is like the
yeah,
like
that was
like a
Vanguard
typical
and the
Oscar
that
bait.
made you laugh, man.
No, it's like I want to see them do that now on SNL, like do like a skit like lampooning like just, like a caricature of an Oscar. It's like and up for 20 Oscars this year. It's Johnny lives in a box.
Like I said, it's just and I've been watching the Oscars since I was a little kid. There's always these abstract movies that are like, what?
Yeah, that's why last year when Everything Everywhere took that, it was like because I saw it like. I mean, I don't know how many times I saw that theatrically, and that was such a cocktail of again, it's sci-fi, it's comedy, it's martial arts, it's multiverse, it's
another makeup award. Robin Williams. Good Will Hunting wasn't a bad movie, but that's nowhere near his best performance. I mean, Good Morning Vietnam was way better than that.
yeah. Oh,
The Fisher King is his best movie. The Fisher King is the best Robin Williams movie. Period. Fuck Doubtfire, fuck all the other stuff. But the Fisher King, and if you guys are likers of or lovers of Robin Williams and you haven't seen the Fisher King, in my opinion, that is by far without any distance his best movie. And then Awakenings, he should have won, but he wasn't going to beat Robert. All right, that was when Hannibal Lecter won. So,
I actually think Mrs. Doubtfire probably should have gotten him some Oscar love too.
I mean, maybe.
And
Tootsie got Dustin Hoffman. I mean, Academy nomination. So.
But when you let me share this real quickly because William had mentioned Good Morning Vietnam. I remember my dad telling me this story a while back about because he's playing who's the DJ in Vietnam? His name escapes me, but so for recording like all of his DJ comedy riffing for Good Morning Vietnam. Basically, what Rob Williams did, he just went to a recording booth. He did like he just freestyled for like 6 hours. I mean, and that's what he could do because I saw
his routine as well. He does that for his.
I saw him perform live, like a year and a half before he died, and it's he just once he's on, he's just going a mile a minute. And so he just went at it for like 6 hours, and then he took the audio of it. Okay, here you go. Whatever you want.
That's one of his best. 1 hour photo is he's creepy as fuck in that movie. But it's still not better than Fisher King is his best movie, and it's wow. And it did win an Academy Award that year. Mercedes Rule, who was later in her career, she won for Best Supporting Actor because she played, and that's one of Jeff Bridges' that might be Jeff Bridges' best role in my opinion. And I don't know if you've seen it. Oh, it's about a radio talk show host. He's like a Howard Stern type of guy. He's a shock jock radio type of guy, and he just gives out advice, and he gives out bad advice. He gives out advice to a guy, and it ends up ending violently. And this guy walks into a restaurant and shoots Robin Williams's fiance at the time, and he goes into this psychosis where he's hunting the Green Knight. He's and Jeff Bridges' character hooks up with him because he finds out about it. He feels guilty about it because it's his actions that led to this, and it's his best movie. It's his best movie. The Fisher King that year, I forgot what beat the Fisher King as far as Academy Awards that year, but I think it was Dances with Wolves, which in itself is offensive because that movie was like 4 hours long and it's good. Let's see the Fisher King.
Anthony wanted me to bring this up too. I believe there's still a prevailing mentality with the Academy. The animated movies are still for children. That's why Academy doesn't give them respect during award season. I mean, I don't know if I go that far. I mean, they have a unique category for best animated feature. But I remember like Beauty and the Beast. That kind of made history when that was the first animated movie to win Best Picture.
That was the year that I'm talking about now. By the way, so this year for Fisher King, he had no chance. This was the year that Anthony Hopkins won for Silence of the Lambs. Warren Beatty was up for this year was loaded. Robert De Niro was up for Cape Fear. Nick Nolte was Prince of Tides. I remember that one. Wow, I forgot how loaded this year was. Every one of these guys could have won it. Robin Williams was nominated for the Fisher King. Nick Nolte, Prince of Tides was excellent. Robert De Niro he's creepy as fucking that. Warren Beatty was great in Bugsy, but Hannibal Lecter, he's 17 minutes on screen. 17 minutes on screen, he gets an Academy Award. And that was the year that Silence of the Lambs won everything. It won Best Actress when Jodie Foster winning her second one. And Jonathan Demme, the late great Jonathan Demme, who was just a primarily a comedy guy, won it for that one. Best Supporting Actor was Mercedes Rule, and she's as Anne and then top of Lana. She's excellent. She beat out Diane Ladd. She beat out Juliette Lewis and Kate Beard, Kate Nelligan, Prince of Tide, which was good, and Jessica Tanny for Fried Green Tomatoes, which I never and will never see. But so he just happened to do his best movie in a year that an iconic performance. Let's take Robert Downey Jr. And here, okay, now the year before. Dances with Wolves sucks. I'm sorry. I like the era that it was. It's just boring as the shit out of me. That's like Lord of the Rings with cowboys. The other movie I'm talking about, Awakenings, which is Robert De Niro in
I read that.
Is Robin Williams' second best performance. Awakenings, it lost out to Dances with Wolves. Best actor was Jeremy Irons for Reversal of Fortune. For Cost Vanville, he was excellent in that. Robert De Niro, I think, should have beat him out for Awakenings. Best supporting actor was Joe Pesci. That's a legendary performance. But Bruce Davison, Al Pacino was in. Actually, Al Pacino was nominated a couple of times. This Whoopi Goldberg won as Ghost, which was a joke. Lorraine Bracco should have won that for Goodfellas. I can't believe she didn't win it. Kathy Bates won for Misery, and that was great. And Kevin Costner won for Best Director, and I'm like, ugh. And Martin Scorsese should have clearly won it that year. So, yeah, fuck the Academy when it comes to some of these decision making. So, all right. So let's see. Oh, you guys are bringing up Old Boy in the chat. Well, we're not doing that tonight. We're not. And Insomnia is good. Insomnia is good. Patch Adams, yeah, like I said, the Fisher King is top tier. Robin Williams, in my opinion. But like I said, 1 hour photo is really creepy. And he totally transforms into something in that role. Yeah, Patch Adams was nominated for Oscar, but didn't win any though. All right. Show's going about 2 hours, so I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up when Brad gets back here. I'm tired. It's been a long weekend. But I will add Kill List to the watch party. I gotta find out where it is. I gotta find out how to get it. It may be on Amazon. I think it is on Amazon, so. All right. True Detective is excellent. Okie dokie. I don't want to go off the air without Brad being able to say goodbye. Have him come back and nobody's here. Yeah, Academy Awards, boy. I'm not the biggest fan of the selection process. All right. Anybody got any last minute questions before I roll out? William, thought on here are a few heroes of Marvel, specifically for Marvel Spotlight with Zack Snyder, Ghost Rider, Punisher. I like all those characters. I mean, you know what? We do. We do. In fact, we need to do that like this week.
Yeah, just getting back. And yes, I agree. Especially now that with the connection to Rebel Moon.
So, I'm still kind of lost about that connection, but I guess I'll figure it out. William DCK, yes, I did. I thought it was great.
Well, again, Zach is. I mean, it's still he still hasn't gone like super in depth on the connection, but again, it's whatever links there are, they're still kind of unfolding. But yeah, maybe, I guess that'd be next. Maybe that should be our next Patreon watch party with an AFSP drive.
Did I like Prometheus when it came out? Yes, I did. I love Prometheus. I actually want a direct sequel to Prometheus. I still think they should. I hope that they use these other platforms that they have to put it out there for us. Clinton's still up.
You're probably blaming me for something.
Nah, the Flower Moon, aka Goodfellas 2, Indian Boogaloo. Jesus. I think we'll wrap it up on that. All right, guys. You know the deal. You know the drill. Well, you know what? I think we just got our next phase of our fundraiser. Now this weekend, I'm going to wrestling events. I will be at TNA's Hard to Kill live and TNA Snake Eyes live. So I don't know about our strings for those days. I'll have to get with you guys and keep you guys updated because those events are starting at like 4 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And whenever there's live wrestling in town, especially pay-per-view in Vegas, I try to go see it. So I will keep you guys posted. Hell, you might even have a show without me. I may have to hand it over to Brad and have him host the show, and then probably be kicked off the internet by the time I'm back on. But 988 Suicide Lifeline. If you are having issues right now, everybody out in the chat seems to be even kill and doing pretty well. But you never know. You just never know. You never know.
Aaron agrees. You brought some a good one-liner tonight. So.
I was just coming up with something to fit.
No, I think that one's going to last for a while.
A couple of seconds. Okay, all right, great. There's my talent. All right, guys. Brad, where can we find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter and Vero. You can find me someone on Facebook. You can check out all my writing on Kung Fu Kingdom and on Screen Rant. And of course, you can see me here getting blamed for things or arguing about the merits of Johnny Lives in a Box with the Oscars here on Sci-Fi Center.
Trying to defend Mystery Man, which is just not going to happen. All right, guys. I'll see you later.
Later, guys.
We'll see you later.